two people can say almost the same sentence in the same meeting. One gets remembered and pulled into opportunities, the other is forgotten within an hour. The difference is not luck, it's not charisma, it's not being the loudest person in the room, it's deliberate strategy. And today I want to show you exactly how to build that kind of presence that makes you top of mind and the kind that finally gets you recognized for the value that you bring. Let me tell you something painful but true. You can show up every day. You can do great work. You can speak in meetings, be helpful, kind, reliable, knowledgeable, and still feel completely invisible. Your ideas get picked up later, sometimes with someone else's name attached to it. Your work gets absorbed into the background. People like you, but they don't think of you when the roles open up, when projects get assigned. Not when senior leaders ask who can take this on. You stay in this limbo, always one of many, never the obvious name. It's not because you're not good, it's because you're forgettable. Not as a human, but in your professional presence. And that hurts, because you are trying, you're working, you're contributing, but being good is not the same as being remembered. Most of us optimize for correctness, not being memorable. We obsess over the accuracy of what we say, but we barely think about how we deliver it. We talk in generic phrases. Yeah, I think we should align on this. I have a quick update, so maybe we could consider doing this. We drown our message in 6 layers of details. We over-explain, we ramble, we talk for 3 minutes to say something that could have taken 30 seconds. No narrative, no distinct angle. In a noisy environment, neutral means invisible. Neutral means forgettable, and that means being ignored. And this is where perception and style become absolutely critical. In every room you walk into, the way people perceive your clarity, your structure, your language, your presence determines whether they remember you tomorrow or they forget you by the afternoon or lunch. So instead of asking, how do I say something smart? Start asking, how do I make this simple? How do I make this specific? How do I make this easy for someone else to repeat? How do I make this land on their terms, not mine? Because being remembered has nothing to do with being loud. It's a skill made of 3 parts: structure, language, consistency. You don't need to be charismatic, you just need to be intentional. So let's talk about how people actually become memorable. Because it's not magic or charisma, and it's not about being the loudest person in the room. It comes down to 3 pillars, 3 levers that you can control, 3 foundations that when you put them together make people think of you long after you've left the meeting. The first pillar is your UVP, your unique value proposition. Think of it like the hook of your professional story. It's the reason people remember you at all. It's what you want to be known for, the problems you solve, the value that you bring, the difference that you make. When someone hears your name, this is the sentence you want to pop into their mind without the effort. Most people never clarify this, they just hope others get it. But clarity never happens by accident, only by design. The second pillar is shape. How you package your contributions. This is where your presence becomes sticky, because people don't remember raw information. They remember structure, they remember patterns, metaphors, before and after stories, short formulas, clean summaries. They remember the way something felt when it was delivered with simplicity and confidence. When you give your idea shape, you make them portable, meaning people can repeat them when you are not in the room. And the moment your ideas start traveling without you, your reputation starts growing without you as well. And the third pillar is signal, showing up consistently in the moments that matter. Not every moment, not every meeting, not every project, but the specific ones where visibility compounds. The decision-making rooms, the cross-functional conversations, the moments where clarity is needed and most people hide behind silence. It's the rhythm you build, the consistent presence you maintain. And most powerful part is when you combine UVP, shape and signal, something shifts almost immediately. People stop saying, "Who was that again?" And they start saying, "All right, that's the person who's great at X. That's the one we should bring into this project." That's exactly the shift that you want. It's not random, it's the result of a presence built intentionally. And now let me walk you through how to build it step by step. Step 1. Define your UVP. What do you want to be remembered for? Before you ever speak in a room, you have to know who you are in that room. Not as a job title, not as a task executor, not as someone who works hard, but as a value generator. Start by defining the problems you solve. Tasks are forgettable. Anyone can do tasks. Tasks never get remembered, but problems create value. Problems shape careers. Problems make you visible. So ask yourself, what business problems do you solve? What changes because of the work you do? How does the company or team benefit? Financially, strategically, operationally, emotionally, then layer on the how. How do you solve those problems? What's your approach? What's your style? What's your expertise? Why do people trust you with this particular space? And once you have that, you package it into one simple, clean message, a sequence that always lands. Purpose, how you solve it, what you actually do. The moment people can describe your value in a single sentence, you stop being blurry, generic, and forgettable professional, and you start becoming someone defined, distinct, recognizable, memorable by design. Here's the thing about the communication. Humans remember shape, not detail. We remember patterns, we remember contrast, we remember rhythm. So when you want to make an idea stick, give it a simple structure, 3 points, a before and after comparison, a clear the one thing that matters is, a metaphor that instantly paints the picture, a formula that compresses complexity into something repeatable. Because when your ideas have shape, people can pick them up and pass them on. That's the moment they stop being just information and start becoming your reputation. Step 3. Upgrade your language. Some people think presence is about sounding smart. It's not. It's about sounding clear and simple. In a world overloaded with noise, clarity becomes charisma. So instead of vague statements, you start speaking in outcomes. Here is what changed, here is the impact, here is what happened because of what we did. Instead of hiding behind filler words, you use pauses. Instead of racing through your points, you slow down when it matters. Instead of flattening your tone, you use intentional shifts to signal importance. Professional memory is shaped by how you make people feel about what you say, not how many words you use to say it. Clarity is what sticks. Step 4. Create small signature moments. You don't need a massive performance to be memorable. You just need consistency in the small moments that repeat week after week. How you open a meeting, how you close a conversation, how you ask a question, how you send a recap, how you summarize a decision. These tiny moments become signals, your patterns, your professional fingerprint. For example, imagine you always close conversations with, let me summarize the decision in 20 seconds, 3 points. Over time, people expect it, they anticipate it, they appreciate it, and they remember the person who always brings clarity because clarity feels like leadership. Step 5. Align perception with your style. Being remembered isn't just about the words you say. It's about whether your behavior matches the brand that you are trying to build. If your UVP is clarity, you can show up scattered. If your UVP is ownership, you can't wait to be directed. If your UVP is strategy, you can drown people in task updates. If your UVP is collaboration, your tone has to reflect trust and openness. Every interaction either reinforces your brand or contradicts it. And consistency is what makes your presence believable. You are not just telling people who you are proving it through repetition, through what you do every day. Step 6. Repeat on a rhythm. This is not a one-off process. You don't become remembered because of one strong meeting or one good presentation. It's built through a weekly cadence, small, consistent signals repeated again and again. One meaningful update, one clear recap, one thoughtful question in a key room. This rhythm builds perception, perception builds reputation, and reputation brings you opportunities. And that's how you shift from being one of many to the person everyone thinks of first. If you want to go deeper on this, especially on how to manage perception, self-promote with humility, and build a visibility system, check out my self-promotion training. It will show you exactly how to apply this at work step by step. But for now, how to start? Start small. Right now, define your UVP. Rewrite your next update using a 3-point structure. Choose a signature clause, something simple and memorable. And after your next key meeting, if appropriate, send a short recap where you highlight the decision, the impact, and the next steps. These tiny actions have enormous visibility impact because When you master the art of being remembered, people start introducing you as a person who's great at X. Your name comes up in conversations you are not even part of. Your ideas travel further than the room you spoke them in. Your style becomes your reputation, and opportunities find you not because you shouted, but because you were clear, distinct, and impossible to forget. You stop relying on hope and you start designing a presence that truly sticks.